this video, we'll be covering one sport versus another. So we'll be comparing basketball, volleyball, and baseball. And then we'll be looking at the areas of training, physical goals, some beneficial exercises for each sport, and some related injuries pertaining to those sports.
So for basketball, the areas of training are aerobic fitness, the very important component in the game of basketball because of constant movement, lots of running, never stopping. Flexibility is to stay injury free and move around the court freely, and speed and acceleration is very important because most running is conducted in short distances and it's short bursts of running. And the next ones are body fat. Excess body fat affects the players jumping, moving, and increasing fatigue. So mainly basketball players are more skinnier and more built and not as big as a football player. And body size identifies your talent and position played. So if you're about 7 feet, you'll be playing like a center. If you're like 6'8" and under, you'll be playing like a point guard, shooting guard, or small forward. And agility, the ability to quickly change directions, is very important in basketball, and it comes a lot in defense and offense. So for physical goals, basketball players need a lot of explosive power at all times. This comes in your quickness in jumping and running and playing defense. You need a lot of strength so that way you don't go up to the rim and get fouled easily and you can make your buckets. And you develop your core to help prevent injuries and with your stability and movement. So for your weekly workouts, on Monday you'll be doing chest and triceps. This comes a lot of your passing and shooting in basketball. You'll be doing bench press, incline dumbbell press, tricep dips, tricep pushdowns, burpee push-ups, and this all helps with your power for your passing and your shooting. So on Tuesday you'll be doing legs and abs. Legs is your most important workout because this is your main use of basketball. And so on Tuesday you'll be doing squats, dumbbell lunges, bounding, death jumps, jump roping, planks, and crunches. And then on Wednesday you would rest. And then on Thursday you'll be doing back, shoulders, and biceps. For this you will do pull-ups, dumbbell shoulder presses, cable seated rolls, dumbbell lateral shoulder raises, bicep curls, hammer curls, and these all help with your pivoting and twisting in basketball. And then on Friday you'll be doing legs and abs again, but it's a little bit different. You'll be doing knee tucks for your abs, and you'll be working on lunge jumps and box jumps for your jumping. This helps you work on your vertical. And then you'll be doing band resisted backward touches, helps with your vertical too. You'll be working on speed dribbling with a harness. This works on ball handling with resistance. And then band resisted layups is also going up to the rim with resistance. It just makes it harder for you and you get more strength out of it. And then the most common types of injuries in basketball are ankle sprains, jam wrists. Those are like when you fall and your palm hits the ground first. Dislocated fingers, it's when you catch like the ball wrong or you can get like a jammed finger. And then Achilles tendonitis, and then knee injuries of all kinds are the biggest types of injuries in basketball.
Hi, my name is Ashley, and for our ESS project, I chose to research volleyball. I chose volleyball because my mentor is a collegiate volleyball player. There are 5 main skills for playing volleyball. They are digging, or preventing the ball from hitting the floor after being spiked by an opposing team. Setting, this is the move that sets up the spike for another team member. Spiking or serving, which are both attack strategies in which you are hitting the ball over the net with a high force and at an angle that is not easily returned by the opposing team. And blocking, defending your opponent's attack. Well, research has shown that when training for volleyball and sports in general, the most optimal way to train is to mimic movement patterns that are sport specific. The physical goals for training are to increase power, speed, agility, and stability, and this sport is largely anaerobic. Power is the ability to generate strength at high speeds. It requires both muscular strength as well as muscular endurance to maintain the power. Volleyball requires a lot of powerful movements from both the upper and lower body. The upper body is required strength for spiking and serving, whereas the lower body requires it for their vertical jumping. The major muscles used in jumping are the quads, hamstrings, glutes, and calves. For training in strength, you'll find a lot of resistance training, plyometrics, jumping, and use of the medicine ball. Agility is defined as the ability to change the body's position efficiently. This is very important for volleyball because you have to position your body in front of the ball. This requires, of course, flexibility, which is obtained through dynamic stretching before and static stretching after. For speed and agility, you'd like to keep the exercises short and quick to mimic the movement that you would see on the court. You find a lot of follow the leader exercises as well as backpedaling, side shuffles, ladder drills, and jump roping. Stability is another important aspect of volleyball. The abs and the lumbar muscles help to support the arms and legs during their actions. This also helps to prevent injury. You'll find a lot of body weight exercises to help with stability, such as planks, push-ups, and squats.
Hi, my name is Kylie. I'll be talking about baseball. I chose this sport because I used to play baseball or softball in high school, so um, it interested me a lot, and I wanted to cover this in our video. So, for some physical goals in baseball, we want to increase our speed or velocity when we throw. So, when we pitch or when we throw from third base to first base or from anywhere around the field to the desired destination, we would want to increase power in all components. So, hitting, throwing, anything such as that. And we want to maintain balance and flexibility while we do so. And then we want to have a good mobility condition to field and receive balls. Um, in addition, for any type of sport, we also want to prevent injuries from overuse because baseball has to do with a lot of repetition. So some areas of training to achieve this purpose or goals would be to use muscular strength, muscular endurance, flexibility, and then we would want to use short maximum intensity types of exercises like sprints from maybe home base to first base, and then maybe long distances when it comes to throwing. Types of exercises would be primarily like overhead exercises to simulate a similar motion into throwing. A lot of repetition. We want to increase our full range of motion, and we want to strengthen the core to support our joints and balance so that when we throw or when we field, we're in a good stable position. So these would be some examples of stretches that you could do before your workout. So you see lunges, donkey kicks, shuffles. They're all good examples of dynamic stretches, which is do mimic the motions of your main workout to warm up your body. And then static stretches would be ones that you would use at the end to improve your flexibility. So when you look at the leg exercises list here, you would see squats, deadlifts, step ups, and a lot of single leg balances with weights because when you look at pitchers, when they come over the top and when they finish up their throw, sometimes they're on one leg, so they have to balance in order to have an accurate throw. And then when you look at these exercise balance and agility exercises, you see that there's a lot of shuffles, jump rope, shuttle runs, and planks, like some of the other exercises that we were shown before with the other sports. This would be because we need to have a stable core in order to twist and rotate our torso to have good torque for our hits. So these are some of the upper body exercises that we would use in softball or baseball because we want to concentrate on strengthening the shoulder and all the muscles around it because um, shoulder injuries and elbow injuries are one of the highest related injuries when it comes to baseball. So related to these exercises, there's some injuries that correspond with our sport. For baseball, there was a survey done that in 2001 where pitchers were injured. They're actually the most injured out of all the positions in baseball. So the shoulder would get 20.6%, elbow is 19.6. Then you get the chest, the wrist, and then further on it would be the lower legs and the upper legs, but primarily it would be the upper body. So we found that, injuries are really important to be taken care of. So it took actually 17.1 months for a player to return to their position. And then there was an increase in elbow injuries, which is with a decrease in shoulders injuries. And then statistical measures were found that through this pitching indicator that recorded the amount of pitches that were thrown each time around. So after evaluating each of our sports, we compiled each term into the respective categories. And for baseball, we found that power was our top, and then after that would be muscular strength and endurance, and then flexibility. Whereas volleyball would be power, agility, speed, then flexibility. And for basketball, it would be agility, speed, cardiorespiratory endurance, and muscular endurance. So you would see the differentiation between each category. Like for baseball, cardiorespiratory endurance wasn't indicated under that category, but under basketball, it was most important, one of the more important aspects. So these are some of our similarities that we found after research. For injuries, baseball would have more upper body injuries, while basketball would have more lower body injuries, like ACL and their leg. While volleyball, they have a lot of knee and shoulder injuries. And then when you look at body size, for baseball, it varies because there could be a really big, bulky guy, and when he hits, he can hit really hard and long with the long distance. And for basketball and volleyball, a majority of the players would be tall and lean, to be able to reach the basket or to jump and block a hit. Then while you look at muscular endurance, all of our sports use some kind of muscular endurance, which is the ability to repeat an exercise without fatigue. So all of our sports do that. When we throw a baseball, we want to make sure that we don't just throw it one time. We must be able to throw it repeatedly throughout the game. Just like basketball, we need to repeatedly shoot the basket throughout the game. So we want to mimic those motions throughout the whole time. For speed, baseball uses a lot of sprints, while basketball uses a lot of long runs in duration. And for volleyball, it's minimum with short paces, so you want to be fast and be able to backpedal. So it's each of the sports are a little bit different. So when you look at other comparisons, you'd see that baseball is more anaerobic. When we did research, we found that baseball was actually 90% anaerobic and 10% aerobic, according to one of the websites. Basketball is aerobic and volleyball is anaerobic as well. We also took a look at the difference between offense and defense per sport. So for baseball, hitting and running would be an offensive position, while fielding, throwing, and running would be more of a defensive part of the game. Whereas basketball, shooting, dribbling, dunking would be aspects of offense, while guarding and stealing back a ball would be more of a defense and it depends on which side of the court you're on. For volleyball, serving turns are what differentiates the offense and defense, but you can score even when you're on defense. Then while you look at the comparisons in terms of stability, baseball uses a lot of one-legged balances for like pitching and torso twisting for hitting and jumping to receive throws, while in basketball you mainly jump for rebounds or you jump to dunk a basket. And for volleyball, we would do like jumps for serving, for blocking. So you want to be stable when you jump up and then when you come down and land. It's important for flexibility for baseball because you need to be able to stretch when you receive throws. You know, if the ball is coming too high or if it's too low, you need to be able to have a full range of motion, especially when you react to certain throws or even hits that come to you. For basketball, you want to be able to evade your opponent, so you don't want to crash into someone, or you want to be flexible enough to, go up and down to reach for passes. For volleyball, you want to be in a good position to be able to save, balls that are about to drop so that the other team doesn't score either. So when we did more comparisons, we also found that for cardiorespiratory, baseball is more sprints, so we only do that a few times in stealing, sprinting, or when you um, side shuffle to, field a ball, or when you run backwards to field fly balls. For basketball, you want to be able to sustain your energy throughout the game because you're running and jumping constantly, as well as in volleyball, you run and jump and shuttle constantly as well. So this also pertains to agility, where you're shuffling side to side. For baseball, it's less constant because you don't get every pitch that comes to you. You don't get every hit that comes to you as well. So it's less constant, whereas basketball, it's a little bit more constant because you're constantly moving around. Whereas in volleyball, it's also more constant because there's a limited space and a lot of volleyballs might come to you. So lastly, we compared overhead movements. So this would be exercises or drills that we do for the sport. So for basketball would be throwing, and then basketball would be dunking, and then volleyball would be spiking, all using some sort of overhead motion for the sport. So in conclusion, we found that each sport has different aspects to it, but there are also a lot of similarities, like in maybe aerobic fitness or anaerobic fitness, and different exercises that are used for different purposes. While there's some exercises that are used for the same purposes, but overall, thank you for watching.